Just ringing up Christopher Browell.
This is the Vodafone voicemail service for 07762471196. Please leave a message after the tone. When you finish recording, please hang up or press the hash key for more options.
Oh yes, good afternoon, Mr. Browell. It's Mr. Hussein here once again. Another day, another message. Once again, leaving yourself a message today, the 7th of October 2023, times around about midday. And it's now been 61 days since I have seen my brother, or my brother has seen any of his family members. This is simply not acceptable, and you, the legal team and the council, must know this is unlawful. It's against my brother's fundamental human rights as protected in the Human Rights Act 1998. Right to a private family life. He has a right to access to his family, relatives. How exactly what you have done is in my brother's best interest to promote his health and well-being and respecting his integrity. You've taken him unannounced, and I note the fact that Mr. Browell, you did not come down even though you were working that day. You did not come down on the 8th of August. You did not come down on the 8th of August 2023. You got one of your colleagues to come down with the police without an interpreter. As you would have known, it would have been necessary for you to bring an interpreter if your intentions were not malevolent, if your intentions were above board. You know, on many previous occasions, I've informed you that my brother does not speak English. You've known about this for some time. When your colleague came down with the police, you didn't have an interpreter, and because you couldn't progress the matter any further, and you were waiting to get an interpreter, you arrested me. These actions that you've taken are simply criminal. There's no other word for it. Tyrannical and criminal. And now in the background, you're liaising with the housing association, and the housing association is liaising with you in order to facilitate access and assessments and so on and so forth. This whole arrest now fundamentally undermines the whole case that you have propped up the housing association to pursue. Effectively, the housing association saying, well, we have no more legal duty of care to both Shahzad and Talib because Talib is no longer in the care. And I've read documents saying that he's never going to come back into my care, and very unlikely. So let me get this right. In 2014, when I've gone to his GP and told him I'm going to murder him, all right, and subsequently he's ended up in hospital, and then subsequently through Nadia Khan, your manager, and Mark Truin, when he's in hospital, where Deepak Patel was there, and Sanjeev Singh and Shaukat Ali were there, my brother signed over his power of attorney to me, and you said he has mental capacity, and you brought him back physically. You had to bring him back from hospital to our house to drop him off at the end of March 2014. So when I had threatened to kill him, you had brought him back into my care. And then subsequently I've told Mark Truin that I've slit his throat. He's dead, lying in a pool of blood. And then after all that, after sending that email and finding out it isn't true, or I believe on the 9th of May 2014, you have then subsequently criminally convicted me and sent me to jail. And then after coming out of jail, I've continued to care for him. And then subsequently in August 2018, 5 years ago, you once again kidnapped him for the first time out of my care, and then released him since December 2018. And now all of a sudden you and I remind myself that at the time you were trying to pursue once again litigation action to have me removed as his nearest relatives, as per Vicina Brown and Sanjeev Singh's statements in 2018, when you were looking to remove me as nearest relative. So then, after all that, he's come into my care. He's been in my care since December 2018, and now you think that if you come down unannounced with the police and you see him in urine-soaked clothes, that now, and the house being dilapidated because you had instructed the benefit agency to remove my carer's allowance, you were not giving Talib any access to any money. So from August last year, 2022, to January 2023, we had absolutely no income coming in. Not my benefits, and not my brother's, and as you know, none of my brother's benefits. And now because the house is in a dilapidated state, because you've instructed the housing association not to give us a tenancy agreement, that gives you now a complete right Under what? Under which law? There is no law. But best interest. What best interest? Whose best interest? It's not clearly in my brother's best interest. It's not my best interest. We're suffering as a consequence, and there'll be clear repercussions to this. You can look to buy off every single judge you want, buy off the police force, buy off the courts. That's all you did. You bought off the police. Nobody complained, did it? So now do you see, years later, last year when I was telling you that my brothers, somebody's tried to poison us, now it all makes sense. Now when I'm charging £1 million a week, it all makes sense, doesn't it? The reality of the situation is that you're acting with malevolence, ill will, and contempt against me, and then I'm within my rights to charge whatever I want for services that are saving you money. How much money has you, the council, saved as a consequence of exploiting my labor? This is slavery by other means. So now you've got my brother and you're holding him hostage, causing I'm distressed, my sister's distressed, no doubt my poor brother's going to be distressed. Why can I not see him? Have I ever physically harmed him? Never. I've told you I've threatened to harm him, but I never harmed him, and he loves me implicitly. I'm his whole world.
You have 15 seconds recording time remaining.
I am my brother's whole world, all right? He has nobody else in this world other than me and my sister. And what you people have done is purely criminal and against all human rights. And I urge you to liaise with me to resolve the situation. This has not resolved anything. All you've done is made the matter a lot worse.
Sorry,
now.
Your recording time has expired. To leave your message, press 1. Message sent.
Yeah, so these morons have come over, not looking to understand the situation, come over, abducted my brother. Now it's a lot worse. Now you've committed a clear act of terrorism, a clear act of fraud and deception. You've effectively perverted the course of justice now. As a result of, you've just now perverted the course of justice because you have undermined the ability of the courts. This is simply ridiculous. It's getting more ridiculous and more ridiculous by the day, isn't it? And the reason it's getting more ridiculous by the day is because the local authority do not know what to do. They've kidnapped my brother. Literally, the state can't just come along and abduct somebody and then 61 days later not tell the family where he is. This goes against all human rights, all laws. There is no law. There is nothing. All that is fraud, deception and corruption, lies and manipulation. That's all they ever do. They just lie and manipulate in order to get a situation that's in their advantage, to their benefit, to the detriment of everybody else. Absolutely ridiculous and horrendous. What we're supposed to do now? They just think they can just get away with this, buying off the police, buying off the judges, buying off the courts, buying off everybody in order to maintain this narrative that they're doing something, and at the same time saving substantial costs. Over 10 years later, how much money have they saved? All right, how much suffering have they caused? They've caused great deal of suffering and harm and malevolence through a racist, xenophobic, Islamophobic agenda to target and victimize me. When I'm telling you, just do your jobs properly, and they can't, and they're still targeting and victimizing me. And all the best thing that they can do is buy off the judges, buy off everybody in order to get the outcome that they desire. Absolutely horrendous, absolutely ridiculous, absolutely pathetic of them. But what can one do but persevere? I've got no other choice. I'm distressed because my brother's been taken away from us without any legal framework. This is simply, the state can't just come and kidnap somebody. Are we living in some sort of totalitarian communist state like Stalinist Russia or North Korea, where the state can just come one day and just take somebody and not tell us where he is, what he's doing, what kind of condition he's in, just simply come and abduct him like this? Who do these people think they are? Just power-hungry madmen that are looking to cause us harm, alarm and distress while working in the background to undermine my role and position in my brother's life. Absolutely ridiculous. 61 days later, he had a package of care that was charging the local authority £1 million. They shouldn't just pay it. That's it. They were not paying it. I was not enforcing it. And yet, look at these people, what they're doing. They've come and taken my brother without any indication of what's happening. And now, all of a sudden, they are, the police are not talking to me. Nobody's simply talking to me. Just put him in a court action after court action after court action. It's been 10 years later that this court action has been going on now. It started in 2012, all right, now we're in 2023. 10 years later, court case after court case, manipulation, and 10 years of my life that they've stolen, and 10 years previously to that they had covertly been trying to manipulate me. Ridiculous, horrendous, diabolical of them. But what can one do but persevere and continue to go on?